We're in Parshat Korach, and one of the things that happens, we have a fellow named On Ben Pelet, who is initially with Korach's group. He's mentioned at the beginning, but he's not mentioned again. That the Torah leads him off when they actually confront Moshe. So the question is, what happened to him? And as we know, there's a Gemara in Sanhedrin that explains what happened. His wife and he had a debate. She said, "What are you hanging out with these guys for? Don't you know, no matter who is going to be taking over and be in charge, you're going to be a follower. Whether it's Moshe or Korah, you're not going to go anywhere. So there's nothing for you to gain by you being in this group." But he said, "But I gave my word." So she did. She got him good and drunk, and he slept through the whole rebellion and survived. So he was not in the rebellion. But this is an important thing. We know that what she saw was something much deeper. That Korach, he dressed up his rebellion in beautiful words. This should be more democratic. Moshe seems to be giving the honors to his brother. What's it called? The nepotism of the highest degree. We should spread this out. After all, we're all supposed to be holy. So what makes you holier than me? And in other words, Korach dresses this up very nicely. And one of the things that we know about dictatorships, that they always, when they want to gain power, they dress everything up in beautiful words. They don't tell you what their real goal is. They say, well, we want equality for everybody. We want everybody to be equal. The communists would say we want everybody to be equal. And by the way, they're true. Everybody will be equally poor. It's as Irving can tell you, having lived in Romania. This is, but if you look at the propaganda they have before they take power, it's beautiful. The truth is that what Korach was doing it for his own benefit. Remember that there's a reference that if Korach had won, then he and his followers would have been fighting with each other who should be in charge. It would have not have been a very pleasant sight, because everyone in it was in it for their own power. Moshe, on the other hand, didn't want to be the leader. It took God 3 days to convince Moshe at the burning bush to become the leader of the Jews. Moshe keeps trying to say, I don't want this job. Right, Johnny? What? He does not want the job. But, he has it. And he understands that. What? That's right. Johnny, by the way, is the nominee for our next president of the shul. We took him out back and messed around with him until he said yes. But all joking aside, Moshe didn't want the job, but he realized nobody else could do it. And that's a true leader, is I don't want the job. I don't really want to be here, but I'm the man on the spot. I'm the guy who can do it. Moshe was very humble. But humility did not mean that he would just go along with everything. It meant he had to make decisions. And so this is the difference between Korach and Moshe. Moshe, didn't want the job. It's like Washington. They had to convince him to do a second term. And he was very happy when the second term was over and he could go home. He didn't want the job of being president, if you can imagine. They actually wanted to make him a king, and he turned them down. But this is something of true leadership. Okay, I know that I can do it, but I'm doing it not for me, not for my honor. I'm doing it because it's a job that has to get done. And that's how we should also look at ourselves in doing mitzvot. Nobody's going to do a lot of mitzvot if we don't do them. And so we should be followers of Moshe in this sense. Something to think about. Do we have a minion?